Welcome to the Dirty Folks podcast. I'm Dirty Folks. Now, I haven't done the podcast in a while, and I ain't did a Facebook rant in a while, so I'm multitasking. All right, so first off the bat, let's talk about Flavor Flav. But it's gonna be a real quick talk because Flav is just a segue to something bigger. Now, everybody thinks Chuck D is public enemy. Maybe he is, but I would argue that Flavor Flav is. I don't remember that many people. Well, I do remember people having Public Enemy T-shirts, but everybody had a Flavor Flav clock. Flav was the lifeblood of the group. Scarface has this great lyric about the feds trying to Prince, and they say Jay Prince is the head, and they was like, nah, go get Scarface because he the backbone. If you crush the bone, you alter the mind, and that's real talk. Flav was the lifeblood. Flav is what kept Public Enemy um, relevant. The flavor of love, the Flav roast, the Flavor Flav dance, the Flav ad libs, the Flav clock. All those things were the things that made Chuck D's rants palatable. They made them relatable. Without without Flavor Flav, Chuck D is any other conscious rapper in the 90s. He could have gone out quick just like X Clan. So the fact maybe Flav should have got kicked out the group. That's not for me to say. But it is for me to say this. To do it over Bernie Sanders is horrible optics. Horrible. So to segue to Barry because Bernie, because that's what Flav represented. Flav didn't crap on Chuck D at all. All Flav said was, "You doing something with Chuck? I'm not involved, so it's not Public Enemy. It's just Chuck D." That's all he said. Chuck D come back like Flav just in it for the money. Flav don't care about people. Flav don't care about politics. Flav just a hype. Like Chuck went in on. They've been friends for 40 years. Chuck went in on 40 years worth of frustration with Flav over Bernie. That's that's not how that's not how this is supposed to work. Um, you can do it for yourself for your own reasons. Say I'm just tired of them, but you can't do them for somebody else, bro. That's just horrible. That's like dumping your best friend because you got a girlfriend, man. That's your best friend was there before her. Your best friend gonna be there after y'all break up. You know what I'm saying? You don't dump your friends over a girl or whatever relationship you in, a temporary relationship at that. You don't dump your day one for a temporary relationship. That's crazy. But yeah, so this really hurt Bernie more than it helped him. It really did. Chuck D hurt Bernie. Flavor Flav didn't hurt Bernie. Chuck D hurt Bernie. Um, but to be perfectly honest, the Bernie Bros are still going strong. So you're looking at two camps. You're looking at the Bernie Sanders, Bernie Bro camp, which is a bunch of millennials mostly. Um, and you're looking at the Biden camp, which is a bunch of baby boomers. Never go the route of baby boomers. Never. If the baby boomers agree with something, yeah. Um, I don't care if they say they like ride toast, but like I'm gonna get weak. Like as a general rule, mm. And then you got whoever Bloomberg can pay for. Um, so this is what makes two-term Trump dangerous. I'm not endorsing Trump, but I'm endorsing Trump. I'll tell you why. Trump, and I said this in real time in 2016. Every election has been rigged since 1992. Every cabinet from 1980 to 2016 was the same regime, right? I need y'all to follow this. So you had Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was a good dude, not the best president, but a good man, right? Then here comes Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was a proxy head. Everybody knows the same dude who did a movie with a monkey wasn't really running the nation, but he was great at delegating, phenomenal at delegating. Ronald Reagan was a flawed but popular candidate. So Ronald Reagan can win the popularity contest, which is all voting is, and he had the sense to grab one of the most capable human beings on earth. George Herbert Walker Bush, his resume is so dynamic, you can't find a flaw. You can't even find an infidelity. That man was a fighter pilot, a CIA agent. He had like 17 lives, man. And any one of those lives would have made you successful by itself. And he had 17 of them. He was a phenomenal man. So Ronald Reagan won. George Bush won because it was just secession. It made sense. George Bush Senior had a what was it? Hurricane Katrina? No, it wasn't. Was it? No, it wasn't Katrina. That was his son's incident. He had another incident that was like a racial incident, and he didn't deal with domestic policy adequately. I'm gonna research that. I'll post it on the comedy report later. And he didn't. People didn't come out to vote for him. So you had a three way race with the Democrats with Ross Perot who had that bag. So you had Ross Perot, you had Dukakis, and you had Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton ended up winning. So in 1992, when Bill Clinton became the president, that was the last fair presidential race. Why do I say it's the last fair presidential race? Because it was the last race where candidates on both sides were qualified for the position. Let me say that again. It was the last race where candidates from both sides were qualified for the position to be the executive officer of the United States of America. In 2000, let's be honest, in 2000, Al Gore got cheated, but it was an honest cheat, right? If it comes down to Florida and George Bush Jr.'s brother is the governor of Florida, nepotism's supposed to give you that slot. If you really want to be honest with it, for everybody who blames the Chads in Florida for the 2000 election going to George W. Bush instead of Al Gore, the truth of the matter is Al Gore distanced himself from Clinton because Clinton, had the Monica Lewinsky scandal, and Al Gore could have won if he won Tennessee. He was the senator of Tennessee. He lost his own state. Had he won his own state, he would have been president. So if you can't take care of home, you don't deserve to be president because then the whole country your home. So I'm not even mad about it because George Bush Jr. he won Texas. Did what he was supposed to do. He took care of home field. Here's where it gets dicey. Now, you got to understand this. After that point, and I'm only saying that 2000 wasn't fair because of the Chad, but both, and honestly, Al Gore might have been more qualified, but either way, after that, in 2008, now it's time for the age of Hillary. You got to understand that this is the age of Hillary. Hillary Clinton, which is an extension of Bill Clinton, and the only reason she was a viable candidate is because Bill Clinton said so. That people are thinking that Bill Clinton would be the proxy president if Hillary got in because they really wanted more Bill, right? So here's where the shenanigans come in. The first time around, they ran Hillary Clinton. First of all, she gets to pick her running opponent in the primary, which is supposed to just be a preliminary type of situation. She gets to choose that running mate, and she gets to choose her opponent, right? So if you remember that the Republicans had goofy people like Newt Gingrich talking about aliens and all type of foolishness. They the Republicans intentionally didn't run any strong candidate. You didn't see Jeb Bush then. You didn't see um, um, what's my man from Massachusetts, um, Mitt Romney. Then you had initially you had the person who probably should have been president 8 years earlier. You had man, what's my man's name? It's on the tip of my tongue. I see that little Korean um, Korean War. Damn, what's his name? He was a senator from Arkansas. Let me pull this up on the other lap. Um, damn, I can't remember his name. Anyway, he had a true. Hold on, let me see something. Let's see, trying to remember who a running mate was. I can't think of his name. Anyway, he was about to win. First of all, let's go to the primary of the age of Hillary. In the primary, she chose they decided either it's going to be a white woman or a black man because it matches the suffrage movement. It matches the civil rights movement. They were already looking for symbolism in America, and I'll get to that in a hot second. So they put Hillary against a black senator from Illinois with no background, no agenda, no nothing, no nothing. All he was a charismatic speaker, and black people liked him because he had a black wife. That was his only qualities. He hadn't voted on anything or against anything. He ain't really did shit. No policy at all. One term senator, 2 term senator, but the second term is when he ran for president. So one complete term senator. She was supposed to demolish Obama. There's no way in the world Obama was supposed to beat Hillary in the primary. In order to ensure that uh, that Hillary won, because once again they didn't know it was going to be Barack. All the way up to that point, everything was leaning toward Hillary. They got God damn, I can't think of his name. And that laptop slow as all outdoors. Hold on, I got 3 computers though. Let's see, 2008. I'm gonna feel bad when I see his name. McCain, John McCain. John McCain was more qualified than Hillary and Barack. It was a very large chance he was going to win. So what they did to sabotage his career is pull out Sarah Palin because nobody was going to vote for this goofy bitch from Arkansas, from Alaska. She was just dumb as rocks, just single mom crazy, right? So they ensured that they would have either a black man or a white woman to be the president. So now you have to go through 8 years of Barack. All right, whatever. Then we get back to 2016. They run Hillary again. Once again, they fix everything. Because think about the second run on Barack. Who we go against? Some goofy. Um, he went against Mitt Romney again and stole Mitt Romney's stuff. So Mitt Romney was pretty much um, powerless. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. That's what that little fake Indian chick, the $5 Indian, Liz Warren, that's what she's doing to Bernie, stealing all the Bernie stuff to get Bernie's voters. Same thing, but it worked for Barack. It won't work for her. Um, then you turn around and get to 2016. They bring Hillary in again. Hillary says, "Yo, I need some more weak candidates." Intentionally weak. Hillary Clinton not only chose Bernie Sanders because Bernie getting in a race, he was just an old crackpot dude. That's the whole narrative when he first came in. Before people really started listening to him, they was like, man, this is an old crackpot. from Vermont, and he ended up being um, very anti, let's say counterculture. He was very counterculture, which was very refreshing after coming from Obama and seeing Hillary as an extension of Obama, who was an extension of Clinton, who by now revisionist history realized that Clinton just got lucky, and most of his luck came from the internet being invented during his term. That's that's really it. That's really it. Everything he did was based on that. All the economic growth was based on that. It was a false equivalent to give Clinton the credit, and people realized that 20 years later. So Bernie Sanders beat Hillary, but this is what Hillary did this time to hedge her bet. Hillary bought the Huff Post. Hillary got cool with Rupert Murdoch, who owns every newspaper, and got her daughter Chelsea, with no experience, to become the president or chairman or whatever of the Huff Post and of all media that's not Fox News. Hillary owned everything that wasn't Fox. And at the same time, she's looking for a weaker candidate to run against for the Republicans so she can win, she can become president. So Hillary really offered Trump close to $40 million in free advertising. Y'all got to remember, Trump didn't run to win. Trump didn't run to be president. He just ran to win because Trump has that type of ego. But at the end of that, what ended up happening was all that free press, and Trump won by roasting people. Lion Jeb, uh, Lion Ted, Lion Ted, low energy Jeb, Crooked Hillary. He was a sixth grader in the lunchroom. He won doing sixth grader in the lunchroom shit. And Hillary helped him because Hillary needed the weakest candidate, and she knew she couldn't go against the Bush. You know what I'm saying? She was afraid to go. So she was afraid of most of these big name white male candidates. She figured that Trump was a minstrel. He'd be her best choice. So she fixed it for Trump to be a leading candidate to, what I'm saying, to go to the general election because she figured she could crush Trump. And the truth of the matter is, Trump thrashed her. Now, people are going to say that Hillary had more votes and Trump won off the electoral. And let me tell you something: the electoral college is because y'all goofies, because y'all toddlers. If you think that her winning by 3 million votes is something, you need to understand there's 3 million people in Chicago. There's more than 3 million people in, it's what, 8 million in New York. We just talking the city, not New York State. And it's what, 4 or 5 million in LA County. So if you're telling me that she should be president of the entire United States because she won one major city, that's crazy. You have to understand that most of the population are in the cities that have three sports teams, right? So if they have a professional football team, professional baseball team, professional baseball team. Those places have the highest concentration of people. So if you win the big cities, by proxy, you're going to have the most votes by winning the biggest cities. But that doesn't mean that you won America. Trump won America. Y'all could like it or hate it, but Trump won America. That's what the Electoral College is for. That's why they did the Electoral College, because small states like Rhode Island said, yo, when they wrote the Constitution, Rhode Island was like, yo, I don't want to be bullied by New York. They did right. You know, a state like Montana that people say, who cares what happened in Montana? It's only 14 people in Montana. Motherfucker, if you eat a hamburger, you better give a fuck about Montana. That's where your beef at. You know what I'm saying? They have a real intrinsic value to America. They can't populate it, or the cattle can't eat, and you'll starve. So chill. Montana counts. So Hillary lost again. Hillary fixed both opponents for primary and general election 2 times, lost the primary 2 times, but they cheated Bernie so bad that she went to go to the general and she got thrashed by Trump. She's a flawed candidate. If I got a horse and I'm fixing races and a horse can't win a fixed race, you need to kill it, send it to pasture, and make it glue. And the fact that Hillary Clinton and that other feminist chick, um, damn, I just had her name on the tip of my tongue, that runs the DNC, the fact that it's a white feminist party that's trying to tell you how to feel and what to feel instead of what you need to do is a failure. But here's why they really don't like Trump. And I'm gonna say this, yo, this podcast is running long, this rant is going long, but I'm gonna say this is why they don't like Trump. They don't like Trump for why I like Trump. You don't like Trump the person. He needs to stay off Twitter. He needs to stay off Twitter. I probably need to stay off Facebook. So it is what it is. I like what he represents. So it goes back to how they fixed it since '92. Now, what ended up happening is after when Ronald Reagan became the president in 1980, he brought in his own cabinet, like you're supposed to. When Ronald Reagan finished his 8 years in '88, and George Herbert Walker Bush became president from '88 to '92, he kept the same cabinet, the same Republican cabinet that that his successor had, which made perfect sense because George Herbert Walker Bush is the most qualified person in America to be the president, and he was the vice president, so he probably chose the council. So it makes sense to bring your people for the next term. The flip side is when Bill Clinton became president in '92, he kept the same Republican cabinet. He's supposed to be a Dem, but he kept the same Republican cabinet all 8 years. Then in 2000, George W. Bush kept the same cabinet, which makes sense because it's his daddy's cabinet. And his dad did the same for his son that the father did for Reagan. He found the smartest vice president that he could find, and he put in Mr. Halliburton himself, Dick kill you at duck hunting Cheney, right? So the regime kept going. So we're talking about the same core, the same puppet masters from 1980 to 2008. Then Obama comes in after the housing crisis, it's all the stuff that just happened, kept the same cabinet. Same cabinet. What's his name? Not Kurt Summers, that's the treasurer. Not Oak Summers, that's me. What is his name? Something Summers. That was the treasurer at the time of the housing crisis, got a promotion to clean up the housing crisis. Everybody that was in the former regime's administration was in Obama's administration. That's why he's not your president. He's just a president. That's no different than any other president because he had the same puppet masters. Y'all ain't gonna like that because he got pretty kids and a married single mother wife, and fights for something. But it's the truth. He just went along with the regime, the same regime since 1980. If you want to talk about the face of the puppet keep moving around, that's fine. But it's the same regime since 1980. So they moving the same since Reaganomics. They using the liberals just to break down their opposition and keep y'all thinking about sex and feelings and like select outrage, while the business of business, because government is the business of business. The government is not the business of feelings. Government is the business of business. And business was going as usual for another 30 years. When you got to 2016, Donald Trump came in office. He was the first president in 36 years to change the cabinet. Every time y'all crack jokes talking about another person quit his cabinet, another person he fired another person. Trump, you can call it draining the swamp. I ain't gonna go that far, but Trump brought his own people in for the first time in 36 years. 36 years. Whether or not they doing a good job is debatable, but for the first time in 36 years, you have a different type of government. The best thing, and I don't wish death on Donald Trump, but the best thing Donald Trump can do on his On his on his second term, is to fight the Federal Reserve. If he fights the Federal Reserve Bank to get us off the Fed, that they'll kill him. But he'll go out as a martyr. That would be the end. That would be the crescendo of an awesome man. I don't think Orange Man bad. I think he needs to stay off Twitter because Sleepy Joe Biden, he gotta have dementia. But y'all like him. Bernie Sanders, he's a socialist to the extent, and I don't even think some of the stuff Bernie Sanders says is bad. I don't think free college is bad because, to be perfectly honest, and this is something that's covered under the tribal rules. Y'all should check that out too, the tribal rules series. So I'm not gonna go deep into it, but all schools are paid for out of block grants. The only thing that's guaranteed to you is kindergarten through sophomore year, junior senior year. At, what? Let me say this: until you 16 years old. I don't know what grade you in when you 16. I done seen some 16-year-old eighth graders. I ain't gonna lie, no child left behind my ass. But they only guarantee your education until you 16. So when you 17, 18, 19 years old, your junior senior year, that's a block grant. Pre K is a block grant. So they already do block grants for education. To do it for college really ain't no big difference. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen motherfuckers in college doing pre classes, pre algebra, pre pre English. Like, dude, you trying to you and the university trying to catch up to be able to do university courses. So you know what I'm saying? They already paying for that. But Bernie, mm, mm. All right. So anyway, that's what I want to say about that. I want to say that, man, all that to say is this: Flavor is a martyr. Chuck D made it so. And if you can get nothing else from Flav, get this: you don't have to go along to get along. You can stand on your own, do your own, get your own in a collective as a tribe. You can tribe out. Yo, this way longer than I thought it was gonna be. So let me cut this short. Love each other as you love yourself. Feed the pack. Support Notion Organic, Line Coin League, whatever sponsor that y'all give me. And I need 1,000 subscribers, man. So click like and subscribe. Very important. When you click like and subscribe, when we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're gonna start giveaways. I'm gonna drop the tolerology course. It's gonna be real fun. All right, I'm out.